Welcome to another episode of That's Debatable. It is Tuesday, November 8th. It is Election Day. Happy Election Day, America. Hopefully you took the chance to get out there and vote. I'm here with my guys, Jeremiah Bays, Adam Dell, and Will Ward.
I'm covered up on the monitor.
As always, it's a good night. It's Tuesday night. We're here live from Columbus, Ohio, here in the Yamo Media Studios. We're going to get right to it. We got a lot to talk about. Buckeyes, NFL, college football, NBA, NHL's firing up. There's a lot going on.
High school.
So over the weekend, the Ohio State Buckeyes went over to the Chicago area and took on Big Ten opponent Northwestern. Buckeyes get the W 21-7. It was awfully windy on the plains of Illinois, gusting up to like 30. Ryan Day mentioned that in his post-game presser. He said, man, it's awfully tough to throw the ball. You can't do it going into that kind of wind. Going downwind, it still plays, a huge impact. So they resorted to the run game. But the chatter here around Columbus the last couple days, there's, fans in a couple of bandwagons. There's nervous skeptics. And that's right, Will. And then there's steadfast optimists. I mean, we got Michigan coming around the corner. Everybody's looking ahead to that. So, what are our thoughts and feelings coming off of Saturday's Buckeye win, 21-7? How you feeling? You nervous? You're nervous about their performance, that they didn't blow them out?
It's nothing to get nervous about, man. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again for all the bandwagon fans that's not really used to seeing an Ohio State team not put up 55 points, not have CJ throw for 300-plus yards, not do record numbers. You're going to have games. And, yeah, this was a Northwestern team. They were coming in and only had one game that they've won. But it's going to be games that you come in, you're going to have to actually fight. We've seen them struggle a little bit because of the weather, because of the elements. But once again, at the end of the day, as long as you come out with a victory, as long as you come out a win and no one gets hurt and you can go on to the next week, what are we continuously crying about? So I want to see those guys continue to do what they do. Yeah, I want to see more points put up, but you see the defense they're holding. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how we continue to get victories and still on the undefeated charts of the nation. So don't continue to focus on what we're not doing. Let's see what we are doing, and let's keep getting those dubs, man. That's all that really mattered to me.
The fans want pretty. They want sexy. They want something shiny, like high flying. They want blowouts like what the SEC is doing. They're not satisfied with the fact that it was 25 miles an hour wind. You can't throw the ball in that type of environment. We got to do whatever we got to do to make it work.
That's what we did.
Exactly. I'm okay with that. I'm more impressed with the fact that my quarterback, who's not known for running, had more rushing yards than passing yards. At one point, he had 76 passing yards and 76 rushing yards. I can't complain about that, because I want a player that's going to do whatever it takes to get the job done, to get that victory. And that's what we had. Defense stood strong. Offense did what they had to do, and even Mayan got over 100. 111 if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, so that's all I can ask for. Fans, just slow your roll, calm down, it's cool. We ain't got to trip over no close games or hard-fought games. Last week or 2 weeks ago with the Penn State, and it was fourth quarter. It took the fourth quarter for us to hit that stride. Things happen. Like, as long as you come out with the dub, like you said, we 8-0. Can't complain. Just hold your horses, and we're going to get to the game when it matters. Right now, game in, game out, just get these dubs, and we're going to be sitting pretty at number 2 at least for the rest of the season.
Yep, I think you got it right there. We got Indiana coming into town on Saturday. Sounds like that's going to be a big noon, maybe?
Yeah,
probably
big noon
for sure on Fox. So, that's Buckeyes just kind of need to keep holding it down. Yeah, that's when there's conditions like that, you got to pivot, improvise, get a little new game plan. And yeah, people are upset, blow them out, but they got the job done, and that's what it's about. So, unlike some other teams, you mentioned the SEC that didn't get it done over the weekend. Speaking of Alabama, going down to LSU in a great game down in LSU in Baton Rouge at Death Valley. Big play, LSU going for 2, converting, shutting them down. It's always a good day when you can wake up and Alabama's got 2 losses in there. LSU looking good, rolling hot. And as you know, we're currently talking about college football's best. I believe ESPN's got the CFP going on right now. So when we get an update a little later during the show, we'll bring that up, talk about the latest top 4, what that playoff picture's looking like. But undefeated Ohio State, undefeated Michigan, going to have some big implications. And the other one we got to talk about, man, Georgia Bulldogs blowing out Tennessee. Tennessee gets throttled. They only put up 13 points. Dude. Yep.
In the playoffs. Playoffs. Like, their schedule is strong enough to sit pretty at 4 for the rest of the year. All they got to do is win out. And who's going to
Stranger things, Pat.
TSC.
TCU. Dude, Horned Frog season, man. Undefeated in the Big 12, rolling up.
It could be
we got our purple on. We got our Horned Frog purple on. You ain't know it?
This ain't for them Horned Frogs. But, I do rock with the purple. But it's I think Tennessee's still looking pretty. Their schedule's strong enough. They did beat Bama. Bama lost again, but the fact that they did beat the Tide still holds weight.
Yep. Bama's got to go into Ole Miss on Saturday.
Yeah, they definitely don't control their
Will, I mentioned even with, C.J. Stroud's underwhelming, aerial performance on Saturday, he's back to being the Heisman odds-on favorite. He overtook Hendon Hooker after Hooker takes the loss to Tennessee. So C.J. Stroud is now, back to being your betting favorite for Heisman Trophy. So, always a good little feather in his cap there. So things are good here in Buckeye Nation. We like to see that. We're going to stick to the great state of Ohio and the great sport of football at that high school level. It's the OHSAA playoffs are going on currently. It's going to be a big weekend. We've got... let's see, Gahanna Lincoln. Last weekend there was a big one against Pick Central and Pick North. Pick Central wins that one 26-20.
long pass got them the dub.
What else were we watching?
And of course,
I showed up to that Hilliard Bradley and Gahanna game.
Okay.
It was pretty good. Gahanna held their own. Bradley struggled out the gates. I think Gahanna went ahead like 14-0 at halftime. But they look like they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for the rest of the playoffs.
In the double overtime, what was that one?
40-39. Shout out the East Tigers still holding it down for the City League. It ain't my East More Warriors, but I guess this time East Less is East More. See what I did there? But shout out to the Tigers, man. They doing their thing. They go on to face Steubenville next week. Let's get that dub. That's going to be a tough matchup. But I'm sure that these Tigers was going to just bring it out on top. The eye of the tiger. It was something strong.
Representing the city.
Yeah, you represent Tigers right now.
That's right. Division I. The other side of that, you got Upper Arlington, covering the Columbus kind of metro area.
Yeah.
That Division I, Region 3. You've got Upper Arlington taking on New Albany. And on the other side of that, Gahanna Lincoln and the Pickerington Central. So definitely, some of the big names in high school football around the city advancing through the playoffs like they were expected to do. So, yeah, if you're free this weekend, it's fall. It's high school playoff football here in the great city of Columbus. So, lots of opportunities there. And all those brackets up on the OHSAA website, ohsaa.org. You can check that out. And as well, Ohio Football Weekly with Marty Bannister is not going on anymore. But it was just, it was good to have that content. It was good to have Marty throughout this season on Yamo Media. Kept us in tune with the high school season. So, but moving on, as we like to do, we're going to get into some NFL. We're going to do a little recap. NFL Week 9. Well, Will, your Bengals got it back together. I was dead wrong about Carolina covering the spread there. We had a historic day for Mr. Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Thursday night football opened with the Eagles and the Texans taking care of it there. Eagles took care of business.
They sleepwalked through that game, but they showed some signs that if you watch on film, the right team could get them. The right team could definitely get them Eagles. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, in Houston, I don't know.
They got a problem.
Houston struggles for sure.
They showed fight. They showed poise for a
That
little
Ricky Pierce.
bit.
That Ricky Pierce, man. Ran it down their throat. That's the recipe. But they ain't rolled over. You can't show that you tanking.
Yeah, well, that's who you're tanking for.
Hopefully he's not seeing.
Right. The Jets took down the Bills. That was probably the big story of the week. Another big story, the Packers losing to the Detroit Lions.
Is that a big story?
No, it's not a big story. It's just gross. It's ugly football.
We don't have to make it a big
Packers aren't scoring that many points.
9.
That's to be expected from the Packers.
Yep. What wasn't expected was Justin Fields having 4 touchdowns and running all over the field
Like 170
against the Miami Dolphins. Justin Fields, 178 yards, the regular season single game record rushing yards for a quarterback. Goodness gracious.
Just let loose.
It's
speed.
It's nice to see Justin Fields finally getting getting a chance, performing well.
I think they heard me complaining, man. Remember I was telling you I felt bad for Justin Fields, and shortly after that, there was that Thursday night game when they was dropping them balls. And shortly after that, they've been finding their ways and hit their stride. They probably got cheated a little bit, too. Claypool did get interfered. But, this second place is what they're fighting for in the North. Shout out Justin Fields.
Well, you never know. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but
it looks good. It looks like they're finally using him, allowing him to be the weapon.
I mean, when you only have so many weapons in your arsenal, you're going to take and use what you have. And if you're not using Justin and you're using him the right way, then you kind of, like you keep saying, you're tanking for whatever reason. But I think they're seeing the upside and they're seeing the future and they're trying to see what they can do right now to prepare for the future. You've seen them go out and make moves for Claypool. They can move those guys on the defensive end to make room for new draft picks that's going to be coming in. So
open up cap space. Roquan was going to need to get a contract soon.
Right. So those guys over in Chicago, I keep telling you, man, that NFC North is not going to forever be ran by the Vikings. That's running it right now. Guaranteed they're running it right now. But it's only going to be for so long. So we shall see, man.
Sound like a little bit of hater.
This is no crystal ball. This ain't no foreshadowing. But, I mean, we've been doing this for a long time now. I've been doing my homework. And I know what's going on. I've been telling you since the beginning of the season, week 1, I said against San Francisco, Justin was going to come out and have a baller game, which he did. And he's been elevating each and every single week. So now it's coming to fruition. He's been doing it since OSU, and now he's doing it here.
I would tip my hat for that because he's a Buckeye.
Hey, man.
Coming for the North, no, that's slow. It's us. It's been the Packers division. It's our turn.
Dude, the last 3 weeks, the Bears have scored 32, 29, and 33.
Against good teams.
Against pretty good teams. The Patriots defense, stout Cowboys defense. But you give up 35, 49. But hey, we like to see that from Justin Fields. He had a rough start. So just getting beat up. And for whatever reason, a couple moves here and there, shipping Roquan out. You thought things going down a little bit. So it's nice to see fellow Buckeye getting it going.
Yeah, that is good to see.
Chris Olave and those Saints he's been making his big impact. Michael Thomas, that lingering toe, I don't know, done for the season, whatever. But Chris Olave making the best of it, and I'm excited to see him moving forward. And he's getting QB play from Taysom Hill, busted up Jameis, Andy Dalton. I mean, so Olave, as a rookie wide receiver, making a huge impact.
Offensive. No, it might be Kenny Walker though. Now, but
yeah, but he's up there.
Yeah, he's up there.
And I know he had a pretty big night last night, but that was an ugly game against the Ravens. The Saints did not look good.
I don't know if it was the Saints didn't look good or we're starting to see that transition of the Ravens really starting to turn that corner. You've seen the addition of Roquan,
Yep.
and he's looking like that linebacker that the Ravens been missing since Ray.
Yeah.
So I like what I saw in him. That secondary with Marcus Peters back there, and that offense is always, as long as you got number 8 underneath center, it's always going to be scary, and it's really starting to turn around. I mean, that AFC North is already tight, but I think they're kind of solidifying. They're going to be here to stay. So.
Oh, you mentioned that. Yeah, Roquan looks like a happy man. He had a couple tweets, he said we got that energy. He's feeling it. Justin Houston had a monster game last night. So, a couple pieces, one piece here and there can make a big impact. The flip side, like you said, Claypool earlier, I'm interested to see how he shakes things up. Chargers Falcons, get kind of a good game, some pretty ugly football. Austin Eckler was in my contention for baller of the week, but he made some bad plays. He had a drop catch, he had a lazy fumble, and he was upset with himself. He still grounded and pounded, got his thing done, and he carried the load when they're without Williams and those guys. Falcons up and down. So heading into Thursday Night Football, who knows what we'll get out of that. But let's talk Sunday Night Football. Chiefs Titans. Derrick Henry, man.
I thought it looked like the first half. It looked like it was about to start off with him just going there and capture another 200-yard game.
That's what he does.
But second half, Patty Mac's Patty Mac, man. My homeboy. He ain't my homeboy, but he did his thing and ran all over him. We might see him later on. He might have won an award this week.
There you go. We might talk about that a little more. But Derrick Henry, 17 carries, $115, 2 TDs. He makes you a happy fantasy owner. He makes me a happy fantasy owner. So does Geno Smith.
Yeah. I should have started him over Lamar again.
Are you guys writing back yet? I mean, they wrote him off, but is anybody writing back to Geno Smith at this point?
No,
we wrote to him, said he was a baller of the week once. We giving him love. He get love here.
Well, now, you talk about how little love the Vikings get, man.
They
Nobody expected them there. Geno gets zero love. Actually, all right, hang on. My buddy sent me one on Instagram. I think it was Sam Acho on Speak for Yourself, maybe on Fox Sports Speak Now.
No shameless plug for Acho.
But he was, hey man, watch dudes that know what they're talking about. But he was talking about Geno and how that is the ultimate kind of statement against Russ Wilson. It's like Russ could never had that offense performing where it was in a funk against the head coach, couldn't get things going, and Geno steps in and has this offense running better than it has in 10 years, basically with a lot of the same parts and things. You add Kenneth Walker, but
it's a big addition.
But a lot of, and Geno's making good decisions, and he's throwing great balls. So, most improved player, comeback player of the year for, I don't know, because he's sat on the bench for 10 years. Does that count? But Geno Smith, definitely, one of those underdogs of the year. It was a big performance. So, any other takeaways from Week 9?
Hey, shout out to my man Joe Maine Mixon, man. Breaking records, 5 touchdowns, a new franchise record for the Cincinnati Bengals. I try not to put too much look on that game. It was against a lackluster Panthers team. We did get to see Jared's guy, Baker Mayfield, come back into the game.
Put some points on the board.
Put some points on the board against the third string.
3 touchdowns. He ain't done that in a while.
But I'm not too heavy. I know Cam, you out there watching, man. I'm not too heavy on this win by Cincinnati. That's what we're supposed to do. We want to take this week off. Hopefully Jamar continues to rehabilitate himself, get himself prepared. But we all looking forward to that next game. We're going to see them Squillers again. So this time we got to go over to what used to be Heinz Field, and we're going to take care of business. So like I said, I'm not looking too far into this win. It's what we're supposed to do. But the rest of the road, and this goes for the rest of the NFL, the easy part is over with. Now it's the second half. So now all those teams that's 7-1, 8-1, 6-2, now you got to put up and shut up because everybody's going to play spoiler at this point.
Either striving or you surviving. Either striving
or
two. Surviving.
So it's either you're going to show up, you're going to show out, show off, or you're gonna be sitting at home, sitting next to us somewhere. So anybody that's not gonna be making the playoffs, hey, feel free to join this crew of That's Debatable right here, man. We'd love to have some of those guys on the show.
Well, since he lost the week before, right?
Yeah, they lost to Cleveland.
All right, but
they battled back.
But so coming off of that loss to Cleveland, it's like, Jimmy Chase is out. That aerial attack is gone. They can't trust the run game. Mixon struggled against the Browns.
Right.
Browns got a great run D, but that was the narrative coming off of Week 8. So what do they do in Week 9? Right that ship, run the ball, pound it away, and man, it was all mixed in the first half. And I got caught in a terrible fantasy bye week. So I just, plugged in Samaje Perine. It's like maybe he'll get a vulture touchdown. So Mixon stomps the first half. I was like, great, they're going to sit him. I'm going to get lucky. Perine's going to get some touches. Man, was I wrong. It was a rough week on my bye week. Yeah, fantasy bye weeks, man. Struggling. So prepare for that stuff. But anyway, it's all right. I could survive it. I was 6-1 or 7-1. So I'll take the loss. Other notes. Just came in, today or yesterday? Dude, Jeff Saturday?
Saturday? I was just watching him. He was just caping for my Vikings. I was like, okay, I'll rock with Saturday. Oh, now he the head coach. I don't know what happened. Hey, Reggie Wayne is in the building, in case y'all didn't know. But, shout out to Jeff Saturday.
I mean, good luck, but, dude, what are they doing? That's got to be
the Raiders suck.
Absolutely zero head coaching experience.
Exactly. He hasn't coached at the high school level. He hasn't coached at the college level. He's an analyst. Granted, he does homework.
He was a leader of the Peyton team.
I mean,
yeah, man, it's a total difference.
He's good friends with Ursay. That's really what I heard.
The
hearsay is he's with Ursay.
Nice. Well, that's the dude writing the checks. That's a good man to get along with, I guess.
Yeah, that sucks.
But I'm pretty nervous. I mean, dude. That gives me anxiety thinking about the stress he's going to have and having no idea what he's doing. Like,
it's an interim coach, and if you can find, if he's a good people person, maybe that's what they're looking at. They're not looking at the X's and O's because obviously what they're looking at before, it didn't work for him. So maybe Ursay's going to go in a different direction. But it's an interim coach. So you can still have guys like B&me, how you said Reggie Wayne. Right. It's guys still
Reggie
out
Wayne's
there.
on the staff, though.
Yeah, it's guys out there that he may not want to just put him into this position and burn the house down because it's already falling down.
I did kind of think that, too. Like, if Reggie Wayne got that spotlight, I mean, in this type of situation, I don't know if he could thrive in it. You know how they do them type of coaches. If that would have been his first chance,
dude, right?
It would have definitely been a struggle. And they choosing to sit Matt. Yeah, not Sam Ellinger's the starter name.
Yeah,
choosing to play Sam and sit Matt. So yeah, it would have been a lot if Reggie Wayne would have took that spot. But for Jeff Saturday, I mean, he always could go back to ESPN when he done.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know what? I'll come do this for the rest of the season to make a couple. How much I'll get to make?
Dude, right. It's not really no risk situation. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's all trending downhill. So just
they said when he got the phone call, he responded with like, "Why are you picking me for this job?"
Man,
confused, man.
It is what it is, man. But the hearsay is he's with Ursay.
And that's the NFL, man. It's reality TV. It's crazy. You got the Jets beating the Bills. You got the Bengals on the bounce back, and Jeff Saturday,
Bills could be got.
The new head coach of the head Colts. So that's Week 9 in a recap. When we come back, we're gonna hit our ballers of the week and toss it off with them. We're gonna take a quick break right here on That's Debatable.
Hey, it's Coach Howard, and I'm excited to tell you the good news about what's coming your way for this high school basketball season. Every Sunday at 6 p.m., you can catch the Coach Howard Basketball Show live on Yamo Media. We will take a close look at all the previous week's high school action, the big upcoming games, and not only that, but we'll be taking a look at the top teams and players throughout Central Ohio. I'll have special guests throughout the season, including high school coaches, players, and college coaches from all over the country. I'll also be giving out rankings of the teams and the players every 2 weeks. It's going to be a very in-depth show, and I can't wait to get started. Once again, you'll be able to watch the show live on the Yamo Media Columbus YouTube channel and Yamo Media's Facebook page. You'll also see clips posted throughout the week on all of the Yamo Media social platforms. You can also catch the audio podcast on Mondays wherever you find your podcasts. Our first episode will air Sunday, November the 20th. I'm looking forward to this upcoming high school basketball season here in Columbus, Ohio.
Hello, I am Annie J. Ross Womack, the Executive Director of the Ohio Sickle Cell and Health Association, and I'm here to talk to the parents and student athletes about a very important topic. The NCAA has instituted different standards for all divisions of student athletes. Before you can play sports in any college or university, you must present a negative trait status or hemoglobin status documentation. Your hemoglobin status is taken at birth with the newborn screening. And what they do is they run your blood for any abnormality or any birth defect. There are thousands of newborn screening birth defects in this country. For more information about sickle cell disease, sickle cell trait testing, you can call our offices at 614-228-0157. Or you can visit us via web at ohiosicklecell.org.
I'm Mike Robinson, Director of City Heights Volleyball Club. City Heights' mission as a nonprofit 501c3 is to utilize competitive volleyball at a low cost as an alternative to common inner city sports. City Heights has served Columbus, Ohio and its inner city schools for over 3 years. Due to demand, City Heights has expanded to becoming an in-house volleyball club, forming teams, holding in-house exhibitions, staying loyal to assisting players at a low cost while developing their beginning to mid-level volleyball skills. My experience that I'm bringing to City Heights is 10 years of coaching on multiple levels, from middle school to college. Our City Heights coaches focus on helping players reach their full volleyball potential, allowing these players to see past their sight to reach their vision. City Heights plans to become a staple in the community through youth sports, building relationships with other volleyball clubs, community and recreation centers within Central Ohio. Players that are interested in joining City Heights can contact us for more information at www.cityheights.club or personally contact me, Coach Mike, at 614-353-0147. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to That's Debatable, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Everybody out there, please like, subscribe, share this, jump in the comments, chat with each other. That's the best part. If you're in the comments, you can chat with other people in the comments. Let them know what's going on. Give us feedback. So like I said earlier, ESPN College Football Playoff rankings are out tonight, and we just got that while we were on break. Thank you, AD. So there it is, folks, Week 11 rankings. Big Bad Bulldogs, number 1, Ohio State and Michigan, 2 and 3, and TCU, them Purple Horn Frogs at number 4. Jump on the bandwagon. It's always good to see Alabama at number 9, Clemson at 10. Like I said, there's a big one this weekend, Alabama and Ole Miss, 9 at 11. Oregon at number 6, looking strong. They've been playing well. Bo Nix has been throwing the ball. And LSU, like we said, with that big win, keep moving on up. My Kansas State Wildcats holding it down at number 19. Always good to see what Chris Kleiman's doing out there in Manhattan. Still got a little love for him there. And we didn't even mention it. Big shout out to Notre Dame over the weekend, taking it to Clemson. That makes the Buckeyes look just a little bit better. So there we have it. The new CFP updated rankings. Go Buckeyes, will hang with it. And now, like I mentioned earlier, the good stuff. The stars of the show, stars of the weekly program, excuse me, our NFL Ballers of the Week. Who wants to start it off?
I shout it out. I'll start it off with the big baller that ran the show last night, the comeback kid himself.
Man.
Came alive in that fourth quarter, actually. They were down. But I had to roll with my homeboy, man, Patrick. Know his middle name, as Jerry likes to go off and say middle names, whole entire government names. But Patty Mack, man, dude balled out. You see how many attempts. Just look at that number, 68 attempts, 43 completions all around, 446 yards. Just one touchdown, though. So, but the stat that also is kind of electrifying is It's just 6 carries for 63 yards, but they were on crucial third down possessions, and he got them to where they need to be. He literally carried that team into a victory, got them into overtime, and even in overtime, got them to where they need to be. So, hey, man, big players make big plays at big times, and Patty Mack did that last night.
Levon.
Yes, he did.
His middle name's Levon.
Patrick Levon Mahomes II.
That's my homeboy.
He is also the league leader in passing yards at 2,605 and the league leader in touchdown passes
19
with 21. Man, I was surprised to see that. 63 attempts. That's too many.
68.
68, especially when you only end up with 20 points. Kind of surprising to see that on there.
Only one touchdown.
Tennessee holding stout.
Tennessee should have laid him on his back a few of the times while he's running and third and 15, third and 22. I don't care how heavy you are. You are a linebacker. You're a safety coming. He's not looking to slide right now. He's looking to get the first down. And at some point, you got to come lay wood on him. Come downhill, knock his mouthpiece out. You got the little mouthpiece just like Steph Curry hanging out of his mouth, and knock that right out of his mouth. You got a chance. He's not looking to slide, and I didn't see those guys coming downhill. But hey, that shows how elusive that he really can be. Yeah. Everybody always talks about his backyard passes and his playground type throws. Last night he put the team on his back and he carried them to victory. So that's why he got it.
All right. Man, I was surprised to see him as your baller, but makes sense.
Joe Maine mixing for sure, though.
You know
where I'm at.
You make a strong argument.
Hey, I asked him, so you going with Joe out the gate once I already seen his performance? And he said no. I said, say less. But, last week it was Hill and Waddle. Waddle ain't he did his thing too. He might have went over 100 again. He's 5th in yards, but this ain't about Waddle. Shout out to that man who might be the offensive player of the year, possible MVP, because the definition of valuable, he literally adds that. The cheetah, he's not a cheater. He's a cheetah. That's how fast he is. What do you have? 7 receptions, 143 yards, 20.4 average per catch. 39 was his long and 1 touchdown. The boy makes plays, and I was an awesome backflip. He cleared everything. And then, of course, I forgot that Tua was short for something, and his real name is something crazy. But Tua Tagovailoa, I can't say that. He also did his thing, 300 yards. He's leading the league in passing yards still. No, second behind Patrick Mahomes, I believe. Ain't he? But... he got hurt.
On that list.
Yeah, no, he got hurt.
Yeah, it's guys like Joe B. That's number 3, Josh Allen. But Tua somewhere up there.
Tommy.
He missed time, but he's undefeated as a starter this year. When he completed the game, he hasn't lost yet.
Dude, that backflip by Hill was that would have been over me. He's springs in those legs, man. He is just an athlete straight up, and that's just one part of the appeal of the NFL, that visual of these dudes out there just doing crazy acrobatic athletic things that we can't do.
Offensive player of the year possible.
He's working on it.
MVP.
And there you go, Tyreek Hill, the league leader in receiving yards with 1,104. Only with 3 TDs, though, on the season. Yeah, man. A little short there. He's got a lot of options in Miami. All right. My big bad baller of the week.
Who you got?
Several guys. There was, a handful of them on that Jets defense.
Shout out.
The Jets defense holding strong, holding the Buffalo Bills to their lowest point total of the season, under 20 for the second time. No passing touchdowns allowed. 2 picks, 5 sacks. And that big man, bad man, Sauce Gardner there on the right. He leads the league in interceptions. Robert Saleh, my guy, has got it going on. As head coach, he's really coming into fine form. A big surprise, one of the bigger surprises of the season, sitting at 6-3. And whatever they did, they get the win over the Bills, 20-17. Bills were like a 9-point favorite. Everybody, they should have walked in there and rolled them out the building. Everybody in that Jets locker room is on board. They're ready to go. They ain't afraid of nobody, including Josh Allen and the Bills. So, hats off to the Jets defense, holding stout.
And if those kids aren't afraid,
who else would be? All right, my man behind the desk. You want in on this action, AD?
Yeah, but I didn't get a graphic made, but I'm taking Mixon.
Did.
We got.
Well, it's not in the drive.
All right.
It was.
Here, I'm going to put it in there.
There we go.
It should have been with everything else.
All right. But anyway, you taking the dude.
Yeah, for sure.
AD jumped on that. Joe
Five touchdowns.
Mixons.
I mean, set a record for the Bengals, and the Bengals haven't been necessarily short of running backs in their past. So,
Dude,
yeah, I'll definitely take Joe Mixon over that. Close second with Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did throw his name in there for that. Yeah, Justin Fields got a big one. I had another one off the top of my head, but I can't think of it. Travis Etienne is playing awfully well in Jacksonville. Kenneth Walker, that dude again. That was it. Running backs, when they get going, man, I like that.
I'm trying to make another
It's
one.
just tough. I don't know if it's in our Facebook Messenger. But anyway, there's our group of 4, the Ballers of the Week. If you're still tuned in, if you're in the chats, throw us your Ballers of the Week. Hit me up on Twitter at Ryan's Fingers. Also, if you're into sports betting, like we had my locks earlier, or my locks last week, I went 2 for 3. So if you want to talk some sports betting, hit me up at Ryan's Fingers as well. And we might be able to talk a little bit of sports betting on this. I think the NFL favorite for MVP is still Josh Allen, but I think Jalen Hurts is a close second. I'll have to look at that while we're doing our mid-season awards. We did this last year, too. Didn't we?
Yes, you're right, Adam.
Like we did our NFL mid-season awards last year. But this is the official Anyamo NFL. That's debatable. Mid-season awards. Who you got flowers for? Who you cheering for? So if you're in the chat, comments, those things. Let us know who you like. Hey, Jets defense, Sauce Gardner, looking like defensive rookie of the year for sure. Or at least, he's one of those candidates. Making a big impact, though, man. You can see guys in the secondary. You occasionally see defensive backs step in and make an immediate impact like that. But who you got? Give me a midseason award. Throw some flowers at somebody.
Hey, I got to go for the comeback player of the year. No other than Geno Smith, man. I'm writing back to you, Geno. I know we ain't right and talked for a long time, wrote you off, threw you off into the sunset. But I got to go for comeback player of the year with Geno.
I like it. Jer.
Kirk Cousins? Say nah.
For what?
But,
For what?
Dark horse MVP when we keep winning.
Man.
But
Best plane dance this season.
But anyway, it's the other purple 8. Shout out Lamar Jackson.
The other purple 8.
Yeah. Shout out Lamar Jackson, 1,700 yards, 16 total touchdowns. He only got 6 interceptions. One of the losses is on him, but every other loss against the Bills, he put that game up there. The defense gave it away. The Dolphins, he played outstanding. Defense didn't close it out. If they could continue to ride out this season, it's going to be a big fat check waiting for this man to cash. He cashed in his second MVP and possible Super Bowl. Who knows? But right now, I would say Lamar Jackson. That's my most valuable player.
All right.
Not Jalen
MVP.
Hurts.
Well, I'll skip MVP.
Not Josh.
I'm going to go Coach of the Year. Big Doug Peterson over in Philadelphia.
That's
Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni.
Excuse me, Nick Sirianni. My bad. He was the former Eagles coach.
You missed Dougie P. Yeah,
Dougie P
he was
is
right.
down there in Jacksonville, making my guy Trevor.
But Nick Sirianni, the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jalen Hurts, he's got him in MVP form as well. But a big 8-0, one more of those big surprises. We all had, there was some Philly hype preseason. But it wasn't quite like this. We didn't think they'd be the only undefeated team left in the NFL. But here they are. So Nick Sirianni doing good work there. Jalen Hurts, man, is up there with your MVP candidate as well. Getting it done on the ground and rushing.
I think
lethal attack. His running ability really adds a whole nother element to that game.
Speaking of running ability, I think the Seahawks could potentially have 2 of those awards, with the comeback player of the year being Geno, and then the offensive rookie of the year being Kenneth Walker III. So I think if they can get to the playoffs and actually start making more noise than they already been making, they definitely on the map right now. It's not a Legion of Boom type defense, but they're doing what they need to do to continue to get wins. So
They got a rookie of the year runner-up, defensive rookie of the year runner-up. They got a nice rookie corner over there too.
True.
What's his name?
It
I
just
can't
escaped
remember it
me,
off
too.
the top of my head.
Kobe Bryant.
No,
Williams
not
or
Kobe
something.
Bryant.
They got a Kobe
They
Bryant.
do
on
got
their
a
team.
Kobe
Do they?
Bryant,
That's awesome.
and his number's 8.
Yeah.
But, nah, I'm talking about the other guy.
He's in the secondary. He's a cornerback for him. Comeback player of the year, Saquon Barkley, right?
That's up
That's
there
going to
too.
be a no-brainer.
Things that people don't care about. Executive of the year, my guy Koizi.
Keep on and moving on this show, man.
Adolfo. Between him, seriously,
Next, Ryan.
seriously, he really made. The Vikings have made moves in his first year. Between him and John Lynch, not trying to be funny, I'm dead serious because that's an award from general managers to get that award. So between John Lynch, the package that they did, or them bringing home Christian McCaffrey, not bringing home, but bringing in Christian McCaffrey, that was a big trade. But also, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, he's made moves from day one. Signing Zadarius Smith, stealing him from the Packers, actually stealing him from the Ravens because the Ravens had him. Bringing in T.J. Hawkinson, made other little minor moves just to add depth and
All right.
that's a big one.
There you
Shout
go,
out
dude.
That.
I like it. We
Like
talk
this
about
might clean house
everything,
this
dude.
year.
talking
Head
about
coach of the
GMs.
year. I mean, Kevin O'Connell's name ain't out there yet. I don't know why.
No.
but he is 7-1, but we got to keep winning.
Dude,
That's
yeah.
why it's mid-season.
Yep.
Not how you start, it's how you finish.
Right. We're
So-
gonna finish strong.
All right. The cornerback for the Seahawks, his name is Tyreek Woolen. He's a 6'4", 210 rookie out of the University of Texas, San Antonio.
These
That's
boys
my
are
size.
big. Yeah.
I'm 6'4",
Sauce
210.
is 6'4" too.
But he looks a little different than I do, though.
Seahawk Nation. Week.
The other one I had was Saquon as comeback player of the year. What else was there? Defensive player of the year. Matthew Judon's looking stout, leading the league in sacks.
They're gonna
That's
get that to
always a
Micah.
big flashy thing.
They're gonna give it to Mike.
Micah's right in there. TJ Watt, I heard, is coming off IR, so he might be returning,
Yeah, come on back.
and that'll bring us to
Right on time.
Right on time because they almost losing the season.
On time.
Yeah.
Right on time. All right, you guys got any other words? AD, you got anything off the top of your head? You good? All right. Nothing from the computer desk. I'm here looking at rushing yards leader.
I mean, if we're
Good
going,
show,
if, hold on, if we're gonna do awards, now you have one for the worst coach of the year,
Oh, yeah.
Matt LaFleur.
Hey, all right.
So has he been overrated this whole time?
No,
He's just having a rough.
it's just a bad year.
He's just having a bad.
So
and
you
that
had
happens.
a bad day.
It's just they're having a bad year.
That happens. And it just, it's snowballing. It's just getting worse and worse and worse.
What does Matt LaFleur do good?
We
Well,
don't
other
know.
than go have the greatest winning record over the first 3 years, other than any NFL coach in history,
All right.
he does okay.
Ooh, man.
That ain't telling
I
me the
can
ins
hear
and
it.
outs and
Here's the other
adjustments.
one I
I've
want.
seen the same ending in the
All right, this is what we
Players.
really want. Fantasy rankings.
no
They think
13
All
and
right,
3 with
dum-dums.
nothing.
The other midseason awards, fantasy rankings. This is all just standard PPR, but most of you know it. Josh Allen. Just trashing dudes. If you got that Allen Diggs combo on your team, whoo, look out.
Except for last week.
We don't talk enough fantasy football. But anyway, it's that time of year for Josh Allen to keep doing his thing and probably help you win your league. So,
He's injured.
all right,
I wouldn't
moving
bank
on.
on him this week.
Big Will Ward. It's that time. All right. Those were our midseason awards. We got the 8-0 Eagles. We got the Bills just taking an L to the Jets. We got Geno Smith and Pete Carroll. Got those Seahawks on the rise. So, Will, shake all this out. Take all this information and compress it into a 10-team list for us, please.
Listen. Here we go, man. So at number 10, you ready, Big A? Get it rocking and rolling. It's not too often where we're going to rock like this, but we're going to start off in that great state up north in NY, in New York. Even though they had a bye week, I looked at the schedule and I look ahead and I see they got a pretty easy schedule coming up, and they're in that 6-2 right now. And I believe with Houston coming up, they got the Lions, and then they got to go to Arlington. That may be where they start getting shook up at. But for now, at 6-2, they got to remain right here. Coming off of that bye, I think it can help them out, get Saquon healthy, get Danny Dimes a little bit more confident, and they should continue to keep on rolling at this 6-2 mark. At number 9, the team that knocked off those Buffalo Bills. Got to put some respect on them just for now. Because
Last
like I
week,
said
unranked.
before, that green can be like that fake chain, man. Get your neck all green because it's only fool's gold to me, man. Zach Wilson, I really don't trust in him, but that defense with Sauce over there, it really showed and shook up a little bit of Josh Allen, and it can be potentially dangerous. These boys right here did take care of business against the Jets, but for now, they are going to be sitting at number 9. They got the Bucks coming up, excuse me. Oh, man, I look all wrong. You see what they got coming
Who the
up.
Jets got next
Yeah,
week?
I got it on my other page. Let me flip the note to my Andy Denny notebook.
They play the
Yeah, right here.
is it the Dolphins?
No, the Jets got.
Oh, man, I've jacked it all up.
I got you, bro. Next week, the New York Jets are on bye.
Yeah, they're off.
Yeah, I don't know what I did there.
You good?
But
all
the
good.
Jets, they gonna sit right there at number 9. We got at number 8. They were also on the bye, but they got that fancy new car in number 23, McCaffrey, and they should be coming back playing very well. Coming up, they got the Chargers coming in. They got the Cards. They have to go to Arizona, and they got the Saints. So those 3 teams,
We like that.
yeah, it's always going to be a divisional rivalry when they got to play against the Cards, but they should have a nice battle this coming up game. But I think they have enough to take down Herbert and his crew. Definitely without having his main guys out of receiver, shut down Eckler. That defense is always looking stout. So I think they should be able to continue to keep rolling. At number 7, I've finally moved these guys up in the rankings, put some respect on those guys, and taking care of Arizona and taking care of them in a good fashion. Geno Smith's looking good. We already said that Walker's looking good. That defense is looking stout. So finally, if they can continue their winning ways, they do have to go to Tampa Bay coming up soon. They're going to get a bye at the right time of the season. I think those buys in the later part of the season when everybody else is still banging, you can get a late rest. It can bode well for your rest of your team.
Definitely.
And then they got the struggling Raiders.
There's a stat like a team that has a bye before week 7 hasn't made the Super Bowl in like 30 years or something.
It's hard when you get those early rests, the early buys.
Late
but
beneficial.
I think the late ones are more beneficial. So at number 6, I can't seem to move these guys up, can't seem to move them down, but I think they may be on a rise potentially because, like I said, that defense, you got Patrick Queen, you got Marcus Peters, you got the new addition of Roquan Smith, and as always, you got number 8 in the backfield, so you can never go wrong with that. And Duvernay, I like how Duvernay runs. It's like you can hand the ball off to Duvernay. You can keep the ball with Lamar. You can throw it out to D-Jack. And D-Jack's only going to continue to get healthy. He has a hamstring that he's ailing right now, but those old legs is going to get back in the routine. And with their schedule, they do get to have a bye week this week, but they come back with the Panthers. They got the Jags where they got to go to Jacksonville. They're going to see how they can go over and see if they can stop Russ, but Russ comes in, Denver comes in to Baltimore, and they got to see Pittsburgh. So here's the meat and potatoes of the top 5 of my list. Pay attention because it's going to go quick. They were also on a bye week this past week, but those Cowboys, they got the rest. You get Zeke coming back here soon. Tony Pollard's been running crazy. Going to see what they have coming up. They got Green Bay at Green Bay. Remember how that happened last time they went to Green Bay. It didn't go too well. They do have to go over to Minnesota, and Jared's really looking forward to that matchup to see if Michael Parsons is going to, put up or shut up. See if my man Diggs is going to lock up and see no kind of gritty in the end zone by JJ. And we'll see what happens come in 2 weeks, but we're looking forward to this schedule. Like I said, they got Green Bay coming up in Green Bay, in Minnesota, and they get to see the New York Football Giants. So those Cowboys, Dak Prescott, whether it's going to be Dak, whether it's going to be Cooper Rush, they're going to be ready. That defense is going to lead this team. a little bit further in the playoffs coming up here real soon. At number 4, though they got a win yesterday or on Sunday night, I think Kansas City really put it on and show why they still have to come through. The AFC has to come through Kansas City. They didn't move up or down, but Kansas City is really starting to, 68 attempts. That's showing where you really starting to have that team. You're not looking at Edwards-Helaire. You're not looking at anybody else. You're really relying on Patty Mack. So coming up, they have Jacksonville, they have the Chargers, and they have the Rams. So all of those teams aren't really looking the greatest. So you should be able to continue to get wins. They're at 6-2 also, and they should keep on rolling. At number 3, we got who else but the Bills Mafia right there at number 3. Last week they were at number 1, but as I stated at the end of my list last week, there is a glaring hole in this defense, and it has to be on that run game.
Yep.
And you finally seen it, come together against the Bills with the Jets. When you allow for Michael Carter to come in and have big yards, it looked good for a while, but we seen some errant passes come through from Josh Allen. A couple of those interceptions he threw straight to the guy, and it could have been more, but those guys in New York, they didn't have the best of hands, and they're defenders for a reason. So if you're looking to win against the Bills, look no further than a good, stout running back. And at number 2, we have who had their biggest game in history. We seen those guys celebrating on the plane. They were doing their little dance, big drip chains. Who can be excited? You go back home in D.C. and really take care of your old team. At number 2, we got none other than Jair's helmet on his head, the Minnesota Vikings. That was probably their biggest game, and this is probably going to be their biggest spot on this list at number 2, because after this week, it gets a little bit more tough. But they did look very well coming into the end. That defense stood strong against the Commanders. I mean, backup quarterback. They did come back.
He's a starter now.
He is a starter, but, in some eyes, he's still backup. But he's starting now for a lackluster Commanders team.
I was running 3 straight, but go ahead.
Yeah, they were on the streak. They didn't play anybody for real. But the Vikings did prevail. We did see them come back, and I like what I saw from Kirk Cousins and putting the ball right where it needed to be on Dalvin Cook at the end of the game. So ball placement was good. They came out. You seen your new toy and Hawkinson. They came down. That first drive was great, but it was something about whatever happened and preempted that rest of that game where they fell behind, but the defense did stand tall, but they got the win. They sitting at 7-1 right now. They do have the Bills coming up in Buffalo this week. The Cowboys come to Minnesota, and then they have the Pats right after that. So we're going to see how, like I said, this was a part of the season I've been waiting for. Finally, the Vikings get a test, and then still at number 1. They first time back at number 1. The Bills have been riding high, but back at number 1, they took care of Houston. Light work, slight work, nothing big, crazy work even. Those Eagles still riding high.
Week on the road, man.
Yeah, the Eagles are
They
still
was yelling
flying
on the
high,
sideline and everything.
having fun. You know what I mean? Those guys are having a lot of
Nail
fun
it right there.
now.
It's having fun.
But their schedule is one of the easiest schedules in the NFL, and I want to put an asterisk. Even though the Commanders took a loss, they did take the Vikings to the brink. But mark my words, this game coming up may be, if we're ever going to see them lose this season, mark it right here, Washington Commanders. Possibly lose this next game if you're Philly. So watch out. You got the Colts at Indianapolis with a brand new coach in Jeff Saturday and a Packers team that's looking to play spoiler to anybody. So that's my top 10. Chop it up, screw it up, spit it out. Do what you got to do, man.
All right, get back to him.
I like your list, Will. I really like your list, and I guarantee that Minnesota will be hired into at some point this season. But We ain't at 3 there yet. I'll just go ahead and kick out the Giants. Go ahead and kick out the Giants. You know, you like moving people down on their bye week, so just kick them out until they get the last time we saw them, they lost. So it's not like they sitting on a dub. All right, put Miami in there. They got the offensive player of the year, possible dark horse MVP, and Tyreek Hill because he really changed that culture. But I really like what they're doing over there, and they riding hot. And on the other chains, Flip, Baltimore, and Dallas, they got that man that just press a button and he gonna get it done. Just press a button, 8 gonna get it done. And that's all it is. I'll switch that around. I like pretty much everything else, and then you putting a little bit of respect on my Vikings. I called you to see where they was gonna be at as soon as the dub was over with. Well, actually, before the dub was over with, almost jinxed it. But I like it, man.
I did too. I like that list. I can agree with it. So if you're out there in the comments, chats, whatever, hit them up. Tell us what you think.
Do got a question though.
One thing, hold that question till after we come back because I did want to make a big announcement. Now would be a good time to let you folks know that Yamo Media is partnered with the Ohio Bruins this season. The Ohio Bruins, straight out of Columbus, Ohio, a member of the ABA, the American Basketball Association. I'm going to be the play-by-play caller for the Ohio Bruins this season, partnering with my guy DJ, who's going to be doing the color. We're very excited about that. We kick off this Friday and this Saturday. Friday night, 6 p.m., the Ohio Bruins take on the Akron Aviators, 6 p.m., Northside Christian High School here in Columbus. And then Saturday, it's the Ohio Kings coming up into the building on Saturday evening as well. So, again, we're partnering with the Ohio Bruins, and we got a quick little clip that we want to roll for you and introduce you to the Columbus, Ohio, or the out of Columbus, the Ohio Bruins.
Malik Evans, guard, Columbus, Ohio, Wilberforce University.
Jay Farrow, guard, LaGrange, Georgia, Ohio University. Jose De Leon, guard, Columbus, Ohio, Hocking College.
Devon Pert, guard, Columbus, Ohio, Muskingum University.
Omer Manzi, forward center, Columbus, Ohio, Bethune-Cookman University.
RJ Farrow, forward, Columbus, Ohio, Point Park University.
Cam King, wing, Cleveland, Ohio, Edinburgh University.
Myquan Knight, guard, Miami, Florida, Hocking College University.
Thorne Stevens, forward, Marysville, Ohio, Olivet College.
Daniel Pacheco, point guard, Caracas, Venezuela, Canal Winchester High School.
Deshael Standard, shooting guard, East Cleveland, Ohio, University of Michigan, Dearborn.
Jesse Haynes, point guard, Coshocton, Ohio, Dublin Kaufman High School.
Ian Bruce, forward, Columbus, Ohio, Xavier University.
Anthony McDaniel, shooting guard, Columbus, Ohio, Ohio Christian University.
All right, there's the crew, the squad, the Ohio Bruins. Those jerseys look nice. And that's, again, I got some purple on. Rep the Bruins up north. So, now we're excited for that this Friday. I'm looking forward to get back into the gym, getting behind the mic, doing some basketball play-by-play. That's probably my favorite to do. I do like the football, but we're excited for the Ohio Bruins in the ABA this season. So like I said, we'll be partnering them. So you'll see a lot of content from us here on Yamo Media covering the Bruins. And again, check out my social medias for all some of those updates at Ryan's Fingers. It's going to be a good season. So coming back to it. We just wrapped up with Will's top 10. We're going to do a quick little preview of the NFL Week 10. We've dissected quite a bit of it, and Jer's going to bring us in because I left him hanging, had to cut him off, but he's such a gracious co-host. You remember the question that you were going to ask Will after that top 10?
It doesn't matter what your question was.
You're Rudy Poo.
What more that the Vikings got to do to show you that we legit?
What Jameis say? Win. That's it, man. Keep winning. That's it.
I don't think we should be quoting Jameis. That's the problem.
That's not debatable. That's not debatable.
Win, man. Just keep winning. I mean, as long as you can win, you take care of business Sunday. You take care of business against.
That wasn't the
those are.
question.
Oh, okay. What was your question, man?
This week I noticed you ain't had your Bengals in here. Are you worried?
Worried about what?
So can y'all catch Baltimore? I say are you worried because the AFC East has that side of the bracket filled outside of the Chargers for real. So I don't know. I was just asking about.
It's the same thing that I said for y'all. It's the same thing that goes for Cincinnati. I mean, we just got to win. Take care of business 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time, and don't try to look forward to anything else. Don't try to clinch the division. Take care of Pittsburgh. Take care of Tampa Bay. It's not going to get easier for Cincinnati, but they got to get a lot of things healthy, and they got to make the right plays at the right time because some of those times on 3rd down and 1, 3rd and short, sometimes Zach Taylor doesn't make the right call, and I think that's what it's really going to come down to at key times. These aren't going to be – there's no more gimme games. There's no more type of Atlanta. There's no more Panther games. Now it's big boy games. So it's either you're going to do it. We got the Bills coming up. We got Baltimore again. We got the Browns who we scared of. Piss down your leg every time you see Nick Chubb. So now it's time to put up or shut up. So now am I worried? No. But we need for these guys to step up. Injuries have really kind of hurt the secondary of Cincinnati, but guys like Jesse Bates, guys like Von Bell, Jesse wants to get paid, doesn't want to get franchise tagged anymore. You got to step up, man. Those new guys that we just drafted, Cam Taylor, you got to step up, man. So it's time to step up. That's all I got to say. Joe May Mixon, you got 5 touchdowns. Do it again.
All right, that's all there is to it. Show up and win, like the man said.
Get well soon, my man Jamar Chase.
And it is, man. Mid-season, we're right there. We're halfway through, so a lot of football left. Surviving the injury plague is the name of the game. Coming in NFL Week 10, we've mentioned some of it. I was going to pose a question. Thursday night, we got Atlanta at Carolina. Not the greatest of football, but something to watch. Have you been enjoying the Thursday night Prime Video games? My best question was, it's been some bad Thursday night games.
100%.
Are Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit the best part of Thursday night football? You like those dudes? We're in the broadcast business.
It's not them that's the issue. It's the games.
I know, but that's my question. Do you like those two?
Go ahead, Jerry.
I mean, I see Kirk everywhere. It's like Thursday night. Then next thing you know, he's on. He's not on Big Noon. He's on the ESPN.
Yeah, he's on Saturday. The big game's on Saturday.
College game day live. It's on ESPN. So he's all, and he's calling games on college. It's he's all over the place. I mean, we could easily fill them shoes and make it more interesting.
There you go.
Compete with the Manning cast.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'm pretty sure, Kurt, you're getting tired, man. You're Ohio native. Hey, you need some time to recuperate. Feel free to hit me up. I know Ryan, he has the Bruins, so I don't want to take nothing away from him.
There you go.
Feel free to hit me up, and I'll feel right in for you.
You bozos.
But, those Thursday night games, football is football at the end of the day. And sometimes they don't seem too interesting, but they have been like either a defensive game, a shoot-'em-up game. But,
if you're a fan of sport,
you're going to find a little bit of something in it.
Statcast, or you've been watching the
Brady or the Manning kids?
No. The ESPN on Prime. They've got the Amazon Statcast. It's basically like X's and O's and Amazon Web Server. Like it's all the number crunching stat, whatever. All right, well, check it out Thursday. For those of you who don't know, there's a whole nother broadcast you can watch. All the stats, all the info, play breakdown, those things. I think it's called the Statcast.
You can find some pretty good things to look at in this game. You got Kyle Pitts. You still got Mariota. You got Carolina, who's potentially could have Baker Mayfield.
And that's Patterson's coming back. P.J. Walker is starting. I want to talk about some other more interesting games. And I'm going to throw one bet at you.
The Germany game.
The big one is Bills and Vikings. That'll definitely be a good one. I kind of want to, are we excited for Lions and Bears?
Oh, my.
No, I think that's going to be bad football, but I think there's going to be some good highlights coming out of that game. That was kind of my conclusion.
I was like, that game might be high scoring. A bunch of bad defense, just offense happening.
Amon-Ra, you might get some good plays from him. Swift, we're hoping to see him back, but Justin Fields, that Lions defense is weak, so I think we'll see a Justin Fields highlight reel. I'm excited for San Fran to get back in action against the Chargers. I think they should clean house, and that's what I want to mention. I've got San Fran as one of my teasers this week. I was just looking at these numbers here. I always like to mention, we like to do a little sports betting on the show, bring it into the fold. So if you play a 6-point teaser, you can pick up, 2 to 10 games. And what it does is adjust that line by 6 points. So I got 3 teams that I want to throw together in a 6-point teaser, which would pay about plus 150. So if I bet $10, I win 15. And San Francisco's a 7-point favorite. So I can tease that down to -1. San Francisco should win by 2, no problem. The other one I like, Seattle. They're getting 2.5. So you tease that up to 8.5, or if the line moves up to 3, maybe you get them at +9. Odds are that's a 1-score game. Their defense, I think, can hold up against Tampa's defense. Seattle hasn't played a top 10 defense since week 2, but I think they can still hang with them. The Bucs don't have a whole lot of offensive firepower at the moment. So you get Seattle at +8.5. And the last one I want is actually the Steelers at +2.5. The Steelers have had one of the toughest schedules so far this season. You tease that up to +8.5. The Saints, I'm not seeing a whole lot out of the Saints come Monday night. And the Saints got to travel to Pittsburgh. So you get the Steelers +8.5, Seahawks +8.5, my Niners -1, +150 your odds. That's a nice little 6-point teaser. That's debatable bets right here on That's Debatable. So there's a little of my Week 10 preview on the gambling side. Are you guys looking forward to any matchups? Arizona and the Rams is kind of one of those wild cards, like 3-6 and 3-6, I believe.
Throw it in the garbage.
Which is very surprising. Just
garbage.
Gross, right?
Garbage.
I like the breakfast game. I love watching football like it's West Coast. You know, if you live in the West Coast, you get to watch football first thing in the morning. So being able to see Seattle, and this is actually a pretty good, entertaining game. Seattle against Tampa Bay, first thing in the morning on Sunday.
That's, breakfast games.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. Of course, Minnesota against Buffalo. I like to see if Justin Fields can continue that hot streak.
Good teams.
After the fiasco that I just seen on the plane ride home, you know, the celebration, that Joe Cool is not that type of celebration. I mean, you get those after big games, AFC championship games, you know, crowning of the AFC North or NFC North in your case. But just a regular Washington Commanders game?
Reunion game, old team. He got a lot of history there. That means something. That's like...
They didn't strip my man Kirk Cuddy down
like,
to his shirt, just got him singing and dancing.
He did that on his own.
You know?
Is that how you see it?
He's feeling it. That's exact. And that's...
And my man look ripped.
Like,
no homo. Like, bro, my dude looks solid.
He did. Hang on. No, stop. No. We already went over week 9. So
we're talking about week 10.
We're talking about week 10.
Week Buffalo, 10, Minnesota.
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
That's definitely
Keep it
the
going.
game I'm looking for. I mean, that's the game I've been waiting on this whole season. Right. So at this point, if you look at my preseason polls, I had us at 7-1 going into this game. So now I also have us coming out with a loss, but that was preseason. From what I've been watching, we coming out on top. I just want to see it.
Let me ask you this question real quick.
And we 5.5-point dogs.
If we haven't got the final injury report, but if Josh Allen does not play this game, is there asterisks on this game?
If Josh Allen doesn't play, I'm more scared. How about that?
They're already mad because they just lost to the Jets. So they're coming in fueled up.
That's their fault. I don't care.
You're not worried about the motivation?
We about to. Hey, somebody on that side over there
extra motivation
left us for them. Somebody was upset over there and went over there.
Diggity.
I was trying
That's
to
what you're saying.
So it's smoke.
I don't think
it's smoke. We're not afraid of the Bills. And clearly,
so you're more afraid if Josh Allen doesn't play. That's what you said?
He's worried about the narrative because it'll be like, oh, they beat him, but they didn't have Josh Allen, so they'll get even less disrespect. That's an easy narrative to see coming down the pipeline.
Without Josh Allen, number one, they won't talk about it. It's just it's not like it's gonna be brushed under the rug. We're gonna be 8-1. Finally beat a team that, respectable, but they didn't have their starter, just like we beat the Dolphins.
I'm gonna go out on a limb right here, man. And
this is not a limb.
I don't know if Willie Latson you still watching, but I'm riding with your boys, man, and the Commanders. I'm gonna mark it down right now. Right. I'm riding with the Commanders for the upset man.
Kind of like that as a little trap game. I'd take the Washington getting 10 or 11 points. I like that. It's just one of those trap game. One of them weirdo. And we talked about that. It's the Eagles trap game with Houston. So you never know. Those division opponents, man. That's just. It's one of those might have their number kind of thing. It's like Tennessee and Kansas City. Indianapolis, Las Vegas. Jeff Saturday gets his new coaching debut at the Raiders. Bad football right there. So we're going to throw week 10 in the trash and move on because we're done with the NFL.
One question from Cam Morris. I think this is going to Jared. Who has the better game, Diggs or JJ?
Ooh, that's a good bet right there. It's a good debate.
It depends on
Josh Allen's playing.
I'm saying JJ, but I know how if Diggs isn't on, if Patrick Peterson isn't on Diggs, I could see Diggs doing something nice. But give me JJ all day.
I'll take JJ to have more yards than Diggs.
They really don't got good corners.
Diggs more touchdowns
It's
than
their
JJ.
front and their safeties. And
Diggs more
their
touchdowns.
Milano is their best
That
linebacker.
season,
He's
yeah.
banged up. And they also lost Jordan Poyer for the year. And their corner is a suspect.
Question, also question, then we can roll on. It's a quick question.
Good grief.
I mean, it's not even a question, y'all, but it's posed to for the weekly question. Which one is more important, touchdowns or yards? Which one we really want? Which one we really care more about?
For the specific person's stat or overall as the team? Because the team, I want the tutty. But if you mean like why JJ's getting me to the 1 yard line and then somebody else go into the end zone, which is also Tyreek. That's why he only got 3 touchdowns. He's doing all the dirty work to get him down the field. He just ain't always
get the yards to get to the point.
I.e. Kareem Hunt and Nick
Moving
Chubb.
on. NFL Week 10's in the trash, like I said.
Done.
Columbus Blue Jackets are the worst team in the NHL. Unfortunately, they're 3-9. They got 6 points. They're tied with the Blues for 6 points. My Avs are struggling. The Vegas Golden Knights are on top of the West. I don't like to see that. The Dallas Stars, I think, are leading the Central. Oof. That's all I want to talk about hockey right now. There's a lot of season left. It's still early. But for reminders out there, one good thing for those of you in Columbus, Ohio, or in the Ohio area, the Blue Jackets are 3-9. That means cheap tickets. So it's a good time to go see them. To get live down there nationwide is always hot. So bad team equals cheap tickets. Hey, man, there's a silver lining in everything, right? So we're going to cut to the NBA after dealing with all the other stuff we've had going on. We got a little bit left in the show here. It's been 2 weeks since we've had Jer's levels come out. There shouldn't be a whole lot of changing.
Nope.
And if you're in Columbus, you're in Ohio, you've definitely heard the Cleveland Cavaliers chatter. And
Cavs
Spider
fans
Mitchell.
already at me, too.
So,
they done satisfied.
Early season update. What are we, 10 games into the season, I think?
Just about everybody's played 10 games. Close to it, 9. I mean, it's so spaced out that it's not quite 10, but I think, like I said, some teams are there, some teams aren't.
Yep.
But
so lay it on
this is Jared's levels. This is Jared's levels. Starting at the bottom. Lay it down. Tank for Wembanyama. The Wembanyama series. Now, some of these teams don't look at bad because OKC actually has a decent record right now. But my advice to the Thunder, they should lay it down. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Giddey, and when Chet Holmgren comes back, if they get Wembanyama with that young core, they once again recreated, I guess this would be OKC 2.0 with, the whole Russ, James Harden, Ibaka, of course, Kevin, what's my man's name? Jeff Green. Like, my man down there, Sam Presti would have done it again. So they should be laying it down. But right now they got a decent record, but it's early. Hornets, Wembanyama will look good with LaMelo Ball. Pistons, these Pistons, Magic, Rockets, they're all young, man. They're all young. So it's not that they should be laying it down. They necessarily just can't win just because they can't find ways to win because they're young. But they got some great talents. And, the number 1 pick, Paolo's doing his thing. Jalen Green in Houston is doing his thing. Cade Cunningham is having a strong early year, too. And, of course, my man Jaden Ivey, he won't be no rookie of the year. But he might be all rookie first team. But they will all look great with Wembanyama and still have hope. The Spurs actually have a solid record, so I don't really think they're going to make the playoffs, but they still got hope for the play-in, stuff like that. Pacers actually got a decent record right now too, but Miles Turner's unhappy. He wants out of there and he'll look good somewhere else, and he also looking for a contract. The Wizards, Knicks, the Knicks, they all of their money. Look, he's even tired talking about the Knicks. like the Knicks, they all of their money's in Brunson. Barrett hasn't been having a good season. They still got, but this team still got hope. The Kings just got a dub, almost got a dub last night. Steph Curry put on a performance, but the Kings, they still got hope. And the Lakers, they only got hope because of LeBron, but they really don't got hope because of LeBron. He's not even playing right now. He's actually not even having a great season. So for year 20, I guess it's the best. But, the Lakers is just a fire show. They put Russ on the bench. Russ is producing. He's still turning the ball over, but that's who he is. You can't complain about it as much. This is what I've been waiting for. Wake up, which I've added this year. I said that a lot last year, but I've added So these teams need to wake the I guess I could say that, Caleb, but I ain't gonna scream that.
There you go.
But Brooklyn, it's a lot going on in Brooklyn. Kyrie will be. It's a lot going on with my man Kai.
It's just a lot going on.
I mean, all he did was retweet something. He didn't. It's not like he didn't steal any money from Mississippi. He didn't, overshow himself to the girls. Like all he did was retweet something, and everybody's up in the uproar. He didn't. It promoted whatever, but it's people really out here doing some things that they're not covering it at all. Versus my man retweeting something, he got a 5-game suspension. He got to meet with Jewish leaders, and he got to do all this other crap. And we still wondering. I mean, I guess Brett Favre returned the money, so nobody's talking about it. Yeah, but the Clippers, we don't know what's going on with Kawhi, but Paul George is performing. They need to wake up. They got a so-so record. Minnesota, I just seen that they're literally the worst starting 5 in NBA history, and right now they're averaging 95 points, and the next closest to them, which would be the 29th team, is averaging 107, which 108 basically, with 13 points less than that. I don't know why they made that trade for Gobert. That was not a good move. It won't help Cat, and it for damn sure won't help that future superstar in Anthony Edwards. He's going to be demanding a trade before his rookie contract is up, or the bag might be so fat he might eat it up and demand a trade later after that. But he won't be in Minnesota much longer. I can guarantee you that.
Minnesota, I see it 5 and 6.
Sixers, Miami need to wake the up.
5 and 6.
Yeah, Warriors, they had a terrible, the defending champs, started off with a punch. They started it off with a bang, I should say, ring night. And then, they went on a skid going on to their East Coast trip. Steph Curry dropped 47 points against the Kings last night, and it took all 47 points. Just an amazing performance by that man. I drafted him on my fantasy team. That was a great choice. But the Warriors need to wake up. I just seen the narrative. Ain't nobody talk about how Steph Curry need help, but they don't make excuses like that in Golden State. In other places like Los Angeles, they might. Grind time. All right, I already put it out there. Chill on me, man. Chill on me, Cavs fans. Y'all are at the top of this. Y'all at the top of this looking beautiful. Only 1 loss, maybe 2. But
Cleveland's 8-2.
8-2. Let me see a little bit more. But they've curated something beautiful over there. Spider Mitchell, early MVP in the first 10 games. It is what it is. Grizzlies, a lot of people like Grizzlies, but they got to get healthy. The Hawks, Trae Young sat out last night, but DeJounte Murray, that was a big offseason acquisition. Looked nice for them. Let me see more. Grind it out. The Celtics, their coach is about to play for Brooklyn, or not play, but coach Brooklyn. So now the intermediate coach might be the permanent coach, and he's not doing that bad of a job.
Your grind time here looks like basically the second rounds of the playoffs.
Pretty much. But Utah is number 1 in the West. Preseason polls, I had them and lay it down. So they jumped. I had to respect that.
Dude, they've...
So, in my rankings, if you win, I'll reward that.
They're showing up, man.
No shots fired.
9-3 leading the West, right?
I'm taking it.
But Utah, shout out to Utah, man. Jordan Clarkson. I'm hearing this a lot of guys. They're happy over there. They're moving the ball around, which is, shots fired at Donovan Mitchell and my man Gobert. But, because there's a stat that Donovan never passed to Gobert. So that means it wasn't that much ball movement going around. But everybody touches the ball. Everybody gets to eat. Everybody's happy. They blew out the Lakers last night. Put up 139 points. They keep talking about these monumental bad teams, for what they used to be and what they're not now. Packers,
that's
Lakers,
right. The
Jazz.
Jazz got Abaji from KU.
Yeah. Lauri Markkanen might be the most improved player this year if he can keep this up. I hope he stay healthy. My Bulls drafted him. It didn't work out there. Yep. Revamped himself in Cleveland. He was in his Donovan Mitchell trade, and he's doing his thing over there in Utah. And it's only 2 teams. It's looking like it's going to be a 2021 finals rematch, possibly. But, I could see Devin Booker fizzling out in the playoffs, but we're not there yet. And as of now, they're looking like that. So shout out to the Phoenix Suns. And, of course, the Greek Freak, I guess, the best player in basketball. But now they're saying Giannis or Luka. But all I know is it's not an American. That's what's crazy. Then you got Joker.
Last couple of years.
And a couple, I'm gonna still take KD over everyone.
Sad,
that's
man.
just me. It's not sad. But it's not
gotta
sad.
let that go, bro.
I can't. And I won't.
Sad. Yeah, hey, but that's something.
But
last couple of years.
Shout out to Giannis. They did lose last night, which when I made this, I did not know that. So I put they were undefeated. But they're still without Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday is balling. offense and defense. And, you know, like I said, Giannis is Giannis. That's just the right stuff. Brook Lopez is a sleeper. He's also the all-time Nets leading scorer. They got a nice thing over there. And Bobby Portis, you know.
They might need to add some pieces, though. They got, you know, over in Milwaukee, they got some.
Get Dame, but
right, they got to add something to that in case Middleton,
maybe
you know,
Mike
has
Conley.
some injury reassurance. Those things.
If they could get Mike Conley, it's like I think Mike Conley gonna be traded at the deadline. It's a couple moves that they can make, but a veteran point guard, they really don't have that.
And really, you know, the next 4 weeks as we
Two
get
holidays
closer to Christmas, you know, Christmas is kind of one of those key days in the NBA. Next few weeks, these teams will start to shake out. You'll start to see, you know, as they find their rhythm, you know, adjust, learn things, just get, you know. And then a lot of these guys playing on new teams, like you mentioned, Lauri Markkanen, all those new dudes down in Utah. You know, they got to have some time to develop chemistry, vibe, get their stuff going. So early season, it's always good to, you know, jump to conclusions.
All this long season.
Yep.
Long season.
You know, we like to
keep you up there.
Yep. And yeah, we like to get in it now. Like I said, you know, Spider and those Cavs, it's caused, you know, a big stir around here. It's good to see exciting things happening and new teams taking it on. So there's you know, there's your update. There's Jared's levels. The re-edition after about 10 games.
Oh, we didn't do Superman case.
You know, Milwaukee, we didn't. Who you got? You want to last edition?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, you know, like I said, Sunday Night Football, I'll actually get a chance to watch my Niners. That's one problem with being a West Coast fan out here. They're never on TV. So I need those primetime games. So I'll be looking for my guys. And, man, I'm Superman cape for my fantasy team. Like I said, I hung like 50 points up this weekend because everybody was on bye. I got Saquon back. I got Christian McCaffrey back. I got CeeDee Lamb back. I just need Jamar Chase to get healthy. We rocking and rolling. Ships on the way, baby.
I'm not about to pull the cape out the bag, but I am caping once again. I'm always caping for my Vikings, but that's not who I'm choosing because I don't need it. I'm caping for my guy Kenny Pickett, man. He's gonna get. Come on, man. You throwing me off, bro. Your reactions, man. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. But for real, Kenny freaking Pickett. This week, it's not like the super tough challenge of the Bills or, you know, the Eagles. Like, he's played the best teams and, you know, got cooked, burnt, whatever. Now he got the Saints, who's regressing, whatever the word is, whatever I'm looking for. But yeah, I'm caping for my man Kenny freaking Pickett. Get the dub, get his first dub, so he could be maybe he could have his chains on.
Ooh, all right. I'll come up.
Hey, Jameis is gonna be on the sideline in New Orleans, so.
All right, you gonna cape? I got one.
Yeah, man, I got a cape,
Who
and
you
this
got?
man, he talk about your boy Kenny Pickett, and you ain't want to cape for the hometown hero. I'm gonna cape for Kirk Cousins, man. I want to see him do what he's supposed to do.
We're losing. It's over.
There it is.
3 picks.
Of course, I want to make sure that my man Fields does what he's supposed to do. I want to see Fields to get in and do what he's supposed to do. But hey, man, it's put up or shut up time. This is what we've been waiting for. The big boy leagues, put on your big boy pants, put on your cape.
Oh, this is what you've been waiting for,
right.
Man. Ain't this what we've been waiting for? You ready?
I got mine.
You ready?
I'm actually going to cape 4
I've been waiting
in
for
addition to
times
my
like
Niners.
this to shine like this.
I think CMC's going to have a huge game. That's just my prediction. But I'm going to cape for Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. I think it would be great for them to go over to Germany. They're on the other side of the country even, and take down Tampa Tom and just put those Bucks to rest, kick them out of the playoffs for good, and just let Seattle roll over there into Germany. And especially the international scene, like the first game in Germany forever. Tom Brady, you know, the greatest, the GOAT one. Everybody over there to get to see him lose would be pretty cool. So,
hey, man, Tom going over there. Tom kind of getting relaxed now. The media is starting to calm down on his divorce. It's final. You know, he going to go over there. He finds something while he over there. Get him a little Deshaun Watson-esque type thing.
Isn't Giselle German anyway? And just, there you go.
Yeah, you know.
Cowboys -5 might be a good one there. Sorry, AD. With the way Green Bay's playing. And Dallas coming off a bye. Late episode bets. All right,
yeah,
gang.
for sure. You definitely go with Dallas on that one.
Dallas covering 5. You heard it from the man behind the desk.
Yep.
For Adam Dell, I'm Ryan Dietrich, Jeremiah Bays, Will Ward, and the Yamo Media Network. Thanks for tuning in, folks. This is That's Debatable. We'll see you next week. Have a good night.
Vikings get the dub.